Hi, what's cooking? Rosh Hashanah is coming up, and everybody you can ask will tell you, oh, that means we dip apples in honey. But not everybody dips apples in honey. Sephardic Jews have a wonderful tradition of dipping challah into a delicious apple and rose water mixture that is called Dulce de Manzana, which means sweet of the apple. And so today I'm going to show you how to make it. First, we need to make our sugar syrup. So we're going to take 3 cups of sugar and 1.5 cups of water, and we're going to mix it together, and I'll put that in the saucepan. Then we're going to take our apples. You can choose any apple that you want, and in this case we're going to use Gala apples. I love Gala apples or Fuji apples, and we're going to take those and I'm going to peel them. Now at home, because right now I'm at Camp Newman shooting this, at home I have one of those apple cores and peelers that you put it on and you turn and it peels it off, but most people don't have that. So what I will do is I will just peel my apple. Now the nice thing about this, and I like to start out doing it rounded because we're going to grate these. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is take my 1 tablespoon of lemon juice and I'm going to put it in the bowl. That way, when I grate my apple, it will prevent the acidic acid in the lemon juice will prevent it from turning brown. And I'm just going to grate it. You can change direction, but certainly when you get to the core, stop. What you want is to get strands of apple, because actually the strands of apple will set in the syrup and it will be more like an orange marmalade consistency rather than an applesauce consistency. Okay, so this was 1 apple. And let me show you what the consistency is. See, it's more like shreds. See, it's more like shreds. And those shreds will actually stay in the syrup. When your sugar and your water come to a boil, they will become clear eventually. You may stir it initially to get the sugar to dissolve. Once the sugar is dissolved, do not stir, because the more you stir, the more you set up a crystalline structure and your dulce de manzana could be grainy. To this sugar, hot sugar syrup, I am adding my apples. Now watch what happens. This is fascinating. If they had discolored at all, then it would turn white right away. Now you see how watery this is? Watch what happens after a while. It will get thicker and thicker. Okay, I'm not going to stir it too much, but I wanted you to see this. See how the bubbles are getting bigger. They're still pretty fast though. Larger bubbles means that more liquid has evaporated. And remember, not only do we have the water that I put in with the sugar, but you have all the juices from the apple that have to evaporate. But from the first photograph, you can see it is much thicker. Now, if I wanted to see what this mixture was going to look like once it cools down, the best way to do that is to take a small glass of a dish with ice water in it, and I put pieces of ice because then the mixture hitting the ice cools down to what it would be at room temperature. So let's try to do that now, and then we'll see what it looks like when we're done. Let's take a little bit of our mixture, put it in. It's clumping together. See? Because remember, this amount of water, it could still dissolve everything. This is clumping together. It's perfect. It's exactly what we want. So we're going to turn off the heat and take a look at the mixture. See how much it's reduced? So now it is a thicker syrup, and when it cools down, it will get even more thick. I'll let it sit for about 5 minutes or so. I don't want it to be too hot. But then I'm going to take rose water, and that's going to scent it. Now, if you're in an area that you can't find rose water, a lot of the supermarkets are carrying it now. You can also look for it in a Middle Eastern market. But if not, you can use vanilla. But the recipe calls for 1 tablespoon of rose water. I would use about a teaspoon or less of vanilla because you don't want it too strong. When the dulce is all done and cooled down, You can sprinkle it with some toasted almonds. You can either use slices or you can use slivers. I like to put it just as a decoration on the top. Many Sephardim like to take the toasted almonds and mix it into the mixture. Whatever you do is fine. Enjoy, have a sweet and a fruitful and a fulfilling new year. Shana Tova.